So, Get Even is a game that was released in 2017. I know I'm a bit late with this review, but to be honest, I didn't even know that I had this game in my Steam library. And I was searching for a game and thought, let's give this one a try and see if it was worth a buy. Whenever I bought it, I have no idea, but let's just get right into this review. Get Even is a first-person perspective psychological thriller in which you play as a character named Cole Black. He kind of gets lured into this asylum by this shady guy called Red, gets imprisoned. Red puts this weird Pandora thing on your head and he forces you to go through the asylum and several other kind of memories to discover more about this girl Cole Black didn't manage to save. So now I'm gonna talk about my opinion of the story, and to be honest, I don't have anything negative to say about the story. The story was pretty good. It had some moments where I thought, okay, this wasn't really necessary, or this is kind of boring, why did you put this in? But overall the story is actually enjoyable. I didn't felt annoyed by that. It has several endings, I don't know how many, but I got one, of course, I finished the game, and the one I got wasn't disappointing at all. There are two difficulties. You have traumatizing, which is kind of like normal difficulty, and you also have gentle, which is more an easy difficulty. I played on traumatizing and it took me 6 to 7 hours to finish the game. I don't know exactly because the game doesn't really show you. I just looked at Steam and that's what I think how long it took me. So because there are several endings, there's also replayability if you want to put yourself through all of that again. There is also replayability because of the several endings, but also there are achievements. I mean, which game doesn't have achievements nowadays? But for people who really care, there are achievements. So now I want to talk about the gameplay, and this is actually where things go downhill really fast. And first I'm going to talk about the positive stuff, then about the negative stuff, and holy shit, there are a lot of negative things in this game. So the first positive thing I want to talk about is that the game looks good. My hardware isn't that good. I've had to play on low to get a stable kind of 60 FPS. Even on low, it looked pretty good. I don't have anything to say about how the quality is of this game. Also, the game starts off good. The story, not alone the story, but also the atmosphere. When you get put into the asylum, it actually creates a creepy atmosphere, and you have all these mannequins and all these inmates that try to scare you or, jump you. And every inmate is actually praising this puppet master, which is kind of interesting, and you'll learn more about that throughout the game. Also, they have this mechanic which you have a phone, and the phone has different features like a scanner, a UV light, and other things. I usually use the scanner or the UV light, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I think Condemned also have this feature, so it's not really that original, but I think it's a cool mechanic. So yeah, I'm sweating like shit. I don't know why, but let's just continue. That was actually everything positive about the game. Now let's start with the negative part, and this is gonna take a while, I think. So the biggest problem that I had was actually at the beginning, because I was unaware of this, and that's for some reason every time there was dialogue or a sound, with music the sound would glitch, like really bad. It would be just static, and every time someone talked it would be like at a speed of 300% of the normal talking speed.
Oh Christ, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. A natural response. It will become easier the more we proceed. If it helps, I have prepared a little gift for you.
What are you talking about?
Outside in the corridor, you see the lines of computer code. All ones and zeros. Please approach and proceed.
Not that again.
At first I thought that was how they wanted the game to be, to create that psychological part, and I searched it on YouTube to find some gameplay, and I noticed that was not how it was supposed to be. So I had to search for a fix. It took me about an hour to actually find something, and I kind of got annoyed at that point. The solution was that I had to put down the audio quality of my computer so that the game would run properly. And in my head that sounded really weird, like why should I put my audio quality down to make the game work normally? Also, this happened to me 3 times that I restarted the game, but the game wouldn't save my settings, so it would be all the settings were put back to default. That was actually really annoying, but that only happened 3 times. A bigger issue was a lot of times, even throughout playing the game would just turn off my subtitles. I don't know why, but I had to turn them back on after they turned it back off. So yeah, that was also kind of pissing me off. A positive thing that I mentioned before was the atmosphere, but even the atmosphere they kind of screwed up. Because sometimes you have this creepy tone, it's a bit creepy, you don't know what will come through which door or something. But then Red or a different inmate starts to talk to you, and all the creepy feeling that you would have would be gone. The atmosphere would just be ruined. And not only Red and the inmates talking, but you also have a gun, which kind of ruins the atmosphere. Every time they try to make an enemy jump you, you'll just shoot him twice and that's it. Nothing to be afraid about.
Peekaboo, I see you. Ah! How many of these fuckers are there?
I mentioned before that you get a gun, you know? But every time you use a gun, you'll get punished by Red. And he'll start saying like, oh, you need to control yourself, be a bit subtle because it can do damage to the thing on your head, the Pandora thing. And I'm thinking like, why are you giving me a gun if you just punish me for using it? I don't know if it affects your ending, but it's so annoying. And even if you use your gun, it doesn't feel good. It's not fun. It feels stiff, and don't shoot. Don't use your gun. No, don't you dare do it. No. I'm serious. Don't you dare. No. Are you serious right now? Oh shit. So they encourage stealth, but stealth doesn't even work that good as well. You'll have times where you'll just hide inside a bush, you'll be outside the line of sight of the enemy, and still they would see you. And when you kill them, even before they can pull the gun or scream something, the guy on the enemy on the other side of the map will actually know where you are, your exact location, and it's just annoying. So I noticed that every time I try to use stealth and get caught, I would just run to the checkpoint and the threat would be gone. So my advice is try stealth, and if that doesn't work out, just run. That's it. There are 2 final negative things I want to talk about. First is a really weird choice by the developers. You have this memory where you have to go through a graveyard and actually take down enemies, or shoot through your way through, or use stealth. But for some reason they put a really annoying song throughout this part. You can't concentrate and it's really, really distracting. I absolutely hated this part.
Acting like you're in a damn video game. The simulation may corrupt, destroying both itself and you in the process. Now, continue.
I also wanted to say that the asylum part is way more fun than the memories. The memories just feel like a chore to play, and the asylum part, it eventually also becomes a bit boring, but it is better than the memories. The last negative thing I wanted to say is there is a part at the end of the game where you play a different character. I won't spoil anything, but As soon as you start playing this character, the gameplay would just hit rock bottom. At this point, I was actually really done with this game. You have to revisit memories to get certain answers or something. And oh my god, this is so annoying. So now I can't use my run to the checkpoint thing. You actually have to go to a certain part and hold the A button, and oh my god, that at this point I was thinking, I hope this game is done in about an hour because I can't anymore. It's so annoying. I was so pissed off at this point. I just didn't want to. I actually wanted to quit. I just didn't care anymore. The only reason I kept on playing was to make this review, and I wanted to know how it actually ended. So overall enjoyment. The story's pretty good. It starts off good, has some weaker moments, but still, it's okay. There's also a twist at the end that I didn't expect at all, seriously, and that makes it even better. But the gameplay just digs its grave and drags the story with it. And the gameplay is just a chore to play, and eventually the whole the whole game becomes a chore to play. As I said before, at the final part I was actually done with it. I didn't want to play anymore. I just had to drag myself through it. I didn't mention this before, but there are these clues with every memory. And at first I read all of them. I was really interested, but I noticed throughout every memory I just skipped all of them. I just clicked on them to collect them, and then just put them back. I didn't care. I was just so done with this game. So now let's talk about the final rating, and I have to be honest, I wanted to like this game. I really tried my best to enjoy it, to give this a good rating, but I just can't. And I was thinking of a 5 out of 10, but because of the problems with the settings and the audio, and at the end, well, especially the last part where you play the different character, I can't even give it a 5 out of 10. So I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. I'm really sorry. But I tried to enjoy it. I did my best, and there might be people who actually enjoyed this game, but it's just not for me. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.